In this video, we're going to be working on mobility of the shoulder. So taking the shoulder through what is called glenohumeral CARs. So glenohumeral is just specific to the shoulder ball and socket joint, and CARs is just an acronym for controlled articular rotations, which is what we'll be performing. Taking the shoulder through its entire range of motion in a controlled rotational fashion. If we perform these on a consistent basis, we can achieve maximal benefit. And it's just simply taking the shoulder through its outer limits of articular motion. So the prescription of these CARs on a regular basis can help to maintain available ranges of motion, enhance the adaptability of the tissues of the shoulder, aid in joint health, and aid in joint longevity. I like to think of it as maximizing the signaling to the shoulder. So get the shoulder acting like a shoulder and keep it protected, allowing it to perform at its best. So we want to utilize irradiation here, which is that full body tension, so locking everything down, keeping everything strict, stabilize all the other joints so we can assure strict rotation. And we want to avoid aberrant motion, so any closing angle pain. If we get any restrictions or point of pain, we just want to back away from it, go around that block, and perform the rotation around that point of pain. So we don't perform that rotation through pain. So I'm going to take you through a set of shoulder CARs, and then we'll go over some compensations and get right into it. So the first position is shoulder flexion. We will axially or internally rotate the shoulder at the top and reach back as far as we can while we keep internally rotating throughout the rotation. So it's fluid and controlled all the way through, and that hand will turn over with the shoulder as the knuckles will be facing the butt and the pinky facing forward. Then we will back that up into this position. We'll freeze and try to externally rotate the shoulder. So you'll start to see that palm turn around and that shoulder open up. And keep reaching back without the body rotating as we reach all the way back up. This is a common compensation we'll get as we start to go through our shoulder CARs. The body tends to lean over or rotate the torso over to try to cheat through that range of motion. Same thing here. Whenever we go into shoulder flexion, the head may lean or the ear tilt over towards that side that we are working on. And then as we come back into extension, the same thing may occur. One of the more common things I see with the first position, shoulder flexion, is the low back starts to arch a lot and the ribs start to flare out. And this will really help cheat that shoulder flexion. So when we come up into that first position, it may seem like we're getting a lot of shoulder flexion, but when you really lock everything down, then you may realize that your shoulder flexion is a lot less than it first appeared. So when you kind of keep everything neutral and create a lot of tension, keep it tight and locked down, when you come up and we really focus specifically on the glenohumeral joint, this may be the amount of shoulder flexion that you can achieve. And then we'll perform the rotation from this position. And you'll see she is not arching that low back. She's keeping everything locked down throughout the entire range of motion. And then she finishes it off very smooth and controlled. An important aspect I want to point out is the elbow. We do want to keep it locked, and we want to make sure that our low back's in neutral, so we want to tuck those ribs down. And we'll landmark the elbow crease or the inside of that elbow facing the ear. We're going to call that the elbow eye. And you see as the palm turns over, the elbow's actually turning over, but not the shoulder. So we want to make sure as we turn that over, that the shoulder rotates and the elbow eye turns away from the ear, away from the head. So you'll see shoulders not rotating, and then now we'll get it to rotate and turn over that elbow eye as we start to carve out that angle. So keep that elbow eye turning over until the knuckles are to the side of the butt and the elbow eye is beside the body. And then when we back that up, we're going to turn the elbow eye away from you, so turning it out as we go into extension. So you'll see the elbow will turn. We want to get that elbow eye to turn over. And then you see the body start to rotate with it. This is something else we want to avoid, so we'll try to keep that going up without the body starting to rotate into our first position. So going through another set here, full shoulder flexion. We're going to be carving out the air with that hand and then turn that over, internally rotate, keep that going into extension, keep reaching back, internally rotating, keep that going all the way through. Bring those knuckles to the side of the body, elbow eye towards to the side, and then back that up. We're going to externally rotate, keep that rotation going, elbow eye turns away, keep that coming up towards the head. And then last thing here, we can hold on to something, create more tension, do another set, full flexion, axially rotate, reach all the way back, keep rotating, follow it through, and then reverse it, turn it all the way back around, externally rotate, and finish through that set. So controlled articular rotations of the shoulder.